Hey everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. It is Wednesday, March 11th, 2020, and this is what's going on right now. Stock trading does not start for about 20 minutes, and this market is set to dive right at the open. I find this especially troubling in the face of what we found out well over the past several days. I mean, just yesterday, the president announced that healthcare, airlines, cruise lines are going to be getting government assistance. Government assistance for multinational corporations on the back of the American people. These are bailouts. As you can see, it's failing to boost this market. There's all kinds of talk regarding stimulus, tax cuts, tax incentives, and several weeks ago, the president floated out the prospect of issuing tax incentives for Americans who buy stocks. Look, I find that somewhat disturbing. It's the truth. It's going to help some people. It's going to hurt other people. But the fact of the matter is, this market is in la la land. It's a bubble. So why would the president want to issue a tax incentive for American citizens, the average guy, the average girl, to buy stocks in a market that's in a hyper bubble? And it's about to get much worse with regard to the debt bubble, people. Look, all this talk of stimulus means debt, period. And what else did we find out? The Bank of England just instituted a surprise rate cut. Pay attention to this, people. Central banks around the world, just like I've been explaining to you, they're all doing the same thing at the same time. They're cutting rates. They're buying debt. They're pumping their respective markets with paper. It's an incredible situation in an attempt to keep people distracted. Oh, look at the markets. They're not doing so bad while the economy is in free fall. It's incredible. So again, be very careful here. So seriously, I don't know what to say anymore. We are in such a twisted, fake environment, and people are going to get destroyed, absolutely destroyed. I do not think, and this is my opinion, and I'd love to hear from you. All right, let's do that here. Do you believe it's a good idea for the president to issue tax incentives for people to buy stocks in this market here? I think it's going to hurt people. That's my take on it. This market is nowhere near fair value at this particular time. Let him issue these tax incentives to people to buy stocks when the market is cut in half from where it is here. I think this has the potential to hurt people. And I don't want to see a single one of anybody, I don't care what you might think or what side of the aisle you're on, to get hurt here. I don't think this is a good idea. And again, if the president is going to give tax incentives to people or tax cuts to people, where's the cash coming to make up the deficit? Our deficits are off the Richter scale. So if we're not making up the gap to fill again the deficit here, where's it coming from? It's coming from the Fed. You understand that? This is an incredible thing we're watching. Central banks around the world are being allowed to hyperinflate by their respective leaders. And again, why? Because again, you know what their plan is. It's so simple. Central banks are the lenders and buyers of last resort. The people around the world, you are the borrower. There's something so ugly going on here, people, so hideously dark and ugly. And it's unfolding right before our eyes, and world leaders are doing this deliberately. They must be on the phone with each other all day long, including the president, talking about what they can do to help central banks issue in their final solution. People, bet against this debt. Become your own central bank, like I've been explaining to you literally since time immemorial. Look at what central banks are doing. Emergency rate cuts, backdoor pumping of this market. The Federal Reserve just pumped $132 billion into the market this morning. Their first repo operation. First. There's probably going to be another 2, maybe even 3 today. Is this normal? Do you believe this is a normal environment that we are in? But we being told everything is great. We're booming. Really? But we're having rate cuts, emergency rate cuts, stimulus, talking about giving tax incentives to people to buy this stock market now, which is in a hyper bubble. You got this repo scam going on, quantitative easing, calls for negative rates. You got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Look, before I go off the deep end, I'm going to end this video. People, this is an incredible thing we're watching unfold here. And people are going to get destroyed on a global scale because of what their respective leaders are doing at this time. People are being led to the slaughter. It's deliberate. It is deliberate. That should tell you something here. Anyway, I'm out of here. Love you a lot. See you at the end of the day.